Hello, friends. Welcome to the $1 Million Message. This is Tiffany Stout from the Austin, Texas area with your Wednesday wisdom, and so thankful that you have called in today. I wanted to talk to you here as we are winding down these last few days of August. I can't even believe it. This year has just been flying by. So here we are. You've got a few more days left in this month, which is so much time. I just want you to know that is like all the time in the world. Even like 1 or 2 days left is a lot. So here you are. You're in a good spot to still wrap up those goals that you have this month. Okay. So no matter where you are at, hopefully you have set some goals for this month. Hopefully you are just crushing them and that you maybe you've already reached them, and so you're going for the and then some. But if there is anybody listening who is like, yeah, that's not me, okay, I'm still working on it, let me talk to you about that. Okay, so first, like I just said, you definitely want to make sure that you have set some goals, that you know where you're going, because if you don't have a goal, you'll hit it every time. Right? Mary Kay Ash taught us that. So it is so important in order to achieve anything in our business, in your life, to be quite frank, you've got to have a goal. You've got to know where you're going. You need a direction. You can't expect to hop in your car and just start driving without knowing what your destination is, right? You've got to type an address into your GPS. You've got to know where you're going so you know which direction to head. So that's your very first step to get anywhere in this business, to achieve any success in life. You've got to know what it is you want. And then from there, I want to talk to you today about how to make that happen one step at a time. Because that's what it takes, all right? Your goal, reaching your goal, is going to take one step at a time. I remember when I was maybe a newish consultant, probably within like the first year or two of my business, and I was just kind of working. I was just seeing some faces, and I was just doing parties and having fun and building a few customers here and there, but I didn't have a goal at all. I was just happy with whatever I got. I was just happy to kind of make a little extra money and be a little bit busy, but I really wasn't looking for a purpose or a future in my business at that point. And then eventually I started thinking, okay, well, no, maybe I do want to be successful at this. Maybe I do want to replace my full-time income. Maybe I do want to drive a pink Cadillac one day. And I thought, okay, if I want to drive a pink Cadillac, I started saying that. I was like, I'm gonna get a pink car, and I was like, I probably should become a director first. That's probably an important step. And before that, maybe I should get into my red jacket. That would probably be good too. Okay, so here I was, a consultant, and I was like, I'm going to drive a pink car, and I wanted to, and I believe you should want that. But I also think that in order to get there, we've got to take it one step at a time. Like Mary Kay always taught us, anybody can eat an elephant one bite at a time. So I had to have the big goal, of course. The big dream was to see myself driving that pink Cadillac. And then I had to break that down into bite-sized pieces, because at that point I didn't even have one team member yet. And so I thought that would probably be a good place to start. So no matter where you're at, what I want you to ask yourself is, what's my next step? What is my next step? And what is it going to take for me to get there? What is my next step? What's the next thing that I should be focused on? Knowing that you probably have a big goal, a very big goal, a very big dream, somewhere you want to see yourself on the seminar stage next year, but it's going to take time to get there. And it's going to take determination, and it's going to take perseverance, and it's going to take overcoming obstacles, and it's going to take a lot of belief and letting go of any doubt or any fear or anything that could hold you back. So you've got to know, though, what's my next step? And then you have to eliminate any of the distractions that are going to get in your way to helping you get there. So anytime you are doing something that isn't serving you and your goal, you have to ask yourself, is this getting me closer to where I want to be? Is this getting me closer to my goal? Is this getting me closer to achieving that next step? Okay, because that's all that success is an accumulation of next steps. Your success your future, your goals, your dreams. It's all an accumulation of next steps. Now, if you are willing to take one after another with blind faith, you will be successful. But when it evades us, it's because we have quit too soon. We've stopped believing. We've allowed ourselves to derail, to become distracted. And so I'm encouraging you to always be asking yourself two questions. What is my next step? And is what I'm doing right now getting me closer to my goal? Okay, those are the two very important questions that you should be asking yourself every single day. Your next step might be booking another party. Your next step might be getting out and getting some leads. Your next step might be picking up the phone and calling that scary person that you really, really, really want on your team, but you've just been too afraid to invite her to listen. Your next step could be very different from your best friend. But I am telling you, that's what we need to be focused on, is the next step every time. And whatever you're doing right now, is it helping to get you closer to your goal? Now, I'm not saying that you need to be working your Mary Kay business 24/7. No. But when you manage your time well, and when you plan your work and work your plan, and you plan around your life, then you can enjoy your downtime away from Mary Kay so much, because you know that when you have been working, you've been giving it everything. You've been doing each next step, and everything you've been doing is getting you closer to your goal. So you can say, you know what? It's time for me to take a break. It's time for me to go play with my kids. It's time for me to go on vacation. It's time for me to do this, because you've given it all you had. So ask yourself those questions. Those are so super important. What is my next step? And is what I'm doing right now getting me closer to my goal? Because, we hear so often in life, and there's so many examples of this that are like famous people, and I'll give you a couple, but it takes like 20 years to become an overnight success. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to take you 20 years to reach your goal in Mary Kay. It might not. That's a matter of your choices that you make. But what I will say is that it doesn't take 20 minutes or 20 days to reach your goal, okay? It's going to take a little bit longer than that, most likely. And so we've got to have an amount of patience, a certain amount of patience, and that determination and perseverance has got to kick in when it's taking a little bit longer than we would like for it to. So one example for you is Samuel Jackson. If you know him, he's a famous actor, and he struggled throughout his life and through his early years, his 20s and 30s, and he was a struggling actor. He battled addiction. He was trying to make it big on stage in New York. He had some off-Broadway jobs here and there, and then he got a couple of breakout roles in the 80s and 90s, and one of the biggest ones that made him probably the most famous was in Pulp Fiction. And after that, his career took off. And he's been in hundreds of films and made billions of dollars in the box office. And so it took him 20 years, though, to get that breakout role. But he persisted. He didn't give up. He didn't quit. Another story is J.K. Rowling, of course, of the famous Harry Potter series. And her story is super inspiring and motivating, because she just struggled. She wanted to write, but she was a single mom. She was on welfare. She lost her mom, and she started writing, and then she just wrote for 5 years, and then she went to all these different publishers, and they turned down Harry Potter. Over 12 different publishers, no, over and over and over again, until someone finally took a chance on her, just a small publishing house. And, obviously we know what happened from there after that. She just became famous, and it's one of the best-selling books of all time. And it took her over 20 years from when she had the dream to start writing to when she saw success from that. So I just want to encourage you that when you feel like it's taking a long time, just know that God is preparing you for what He's prepared for you. Don't give up. Don't quit just because it's taking longer than you thought, or it looks different than you thought it should have been, or you got some no's and some obstacles along the way. Ask yourself, what's my next step? What is the next thing that I can do, that I can control, that I can be in charge of to get me closer to my goal? And is what I'm doing right now getting me there? I hope that those two questions will bless you and your business today as you create the dream life that you know God has waiting for you. I love you all. I believe in you. Make it happen. Have a great day. God bless you. Bye-bye.